The first time the house spoke, it whispered my dead wife's name. I was standing in the kitchen at 3 in the morning, barefoot on the cold pine floor, holding a glass of water I didn't remember pouring. The voice drifted down from the ceiling like dust falling upward, soft, familiar, impossible. Daniel. My hand jerked. The glass hit the floor and shattered, water racing between the boards the way her blood once raced across the bathroom tile 2 years ago when I found her in the tub, wrists open, eyes already gone somewhere I couldn't follow. I looked up. Nothing. Just the old plaster and a single bulb swaying on its cord even though the air was still. Then it came again, closer, right against my ear this time, warm breath that smelled faintly of the vanilla lotion she used. Come upstairs, Daniel. I'm cold. I ran. Out the back door, across the frozen yard, into the trees that crowd the edge of the property like silent judges. I didn't stop until my lungs burned and the house was nothing but a black shape behind the pines. Only then did I realize I was crying, great choking sobs that tasted like copper and guilt. The house is called Blackthorn Manor, though nobody local uses the name anymore. They just call it the Widow House, or sometimes the place that eats people. It sits 3 miles outside the nowhere town of Millhaven, Vermont, at the end of a dirt road that hasn't been graded since Nixon was president. 12 rooms, 4 chimneys, and a cellar that goes deeper than any cellar has a right to go. I bought it 6 months ago for $17,000 at auction because the bank wanted it gone and because I wanted to be gone, too. Somewhere far from the city apartment where every mirror still showed me holding her limp body, trying to stuff her life back into veins that wouldn't hold it anymore. They warned me, of course. The realtor, the clerk at the county office, even the kid pumping gas at the Sunoco on Route 7. They all told the same story in different words. People go in, people don't come out the same. Some don't come out at all. I smiled, signed the papers, told them grief makes a man stupid. They nodded like they understood, but their eyes said they'd seen my kind before. That was August. By October the nights were long and the house started talking. It began with small things. Footsteps on the second floor when I was in the kitchen. My name sighed through the heating ducts. Once I found her hairbrush on the bathroom counter, bristles full of long auburn strands that definitely weren't mine. I threw it in the trash, took the bag all the way to the dump myself, watched the compactor crush it flat. Next morning the brush was back, cleaner than before, sitting on the edge of the sink like it had never left. I tried to laugh it off. Old houses settle, pipes knock, wind moves through the walls funny. Grief does worse things to the mind than invent ghosts. I was a rational man. 38 years old, former software engineer, widower, functional alcoholic on good days. I knew the difference between memory and reality. Then came the night it said her name. After I fled to the trees, I sat on a stump until the sky turned the color of old bruises. I told myself I would pack the truck and leave at dawn, drive south until the road ran out of land. But when the sun rose, pale and thin through the branches, something pulled me back. Not courage, not even curiosity, something uglier. Hope, maybe. The worst kind of hope, the kind that makes you bargain with the dark. The house looked innocent in daylight, just a big sagging Victorian with peeling green paint and a wraparound porch that listed to the left like a drunk trying to remember where he parked. I went inside, poured coffee I didn't drink, and started researching. Millhaven doesn't have much of a library, but the librarian, Mrs. Duchesne, keeps a locked cabinet in the back room full of things the town would rather forget. She let me in after I told her why I was asking. Her hands shook when she turned the key. Most folks who buy that place don't last a month, she said, voice barely above a whisper. The ones who stay longer, well, we stop hearing from them. She laid out the clippings like tarot cards. Yellowed newspaper pages, handwritten journals, a grainy photograph of a family standing on the front steps in 1912, all of them smiling too wide. It started in 1893 when Elias Blackthorn finished building the house for his bride, Clara, who died of fever 3 weeks after they moved in. Elias hanged himself from the chandelier in the foyer. His brother inherited the place, moved in with his own wife and 2 daughters. Within a year the wife vanished. The daughters were found in the cellar, throats cut, arranged like dolls around a tea set. The brother was discovered upstairs nailed to the bedroom wall, still alive, babbling about voices telling him how to make the pain stop. Every decade or so the pattern repeated. New family, new tragedy, new ghosts. Sometimes they left on their own, hollow-eyed and silent. Sometimes the sheriff went in with guns and came out shaking his head. Once, in 1974, they sent in the National Guard after screams were reported for 3 nights straight. They found nothing but an empty house and a single word carved into every wall: stay. Mrs. Duchesne closed the cabinet. Whatever's in there, she said, it don't want company. It wants pieces. I should have left then. Instead I asked if anyone ever tried burning it down. Tried, she said, 3 times that I know of. Fire goes out soon as it touches the siding. Like the house just swallows it. That night I sat in the parlor with every light in the place blazing and a bottle of Maker's Mark 1 didn't bother with a glass. Around midnight the temperature dropped 20 degrees all at once. My breath fogged. The bulbs flickered, then steadied, dimmer than before. She walked into the room. Not drifted, not floated. Walked, bare feet on the rug, wearing the same white cotton nightgown she died in, dark stains blooming across the sleeves where the blood had dried. Her hair hung wet and heavy, the way it did when she used to step out of the shower laughing because I'd hidden her towel again. Only she wasn't laughing now. Her eyes were wrong, too black, no whites at all, like someone had filled the sockets with tar. Daniel, she said, and her voice was perfect, the little rasp she got when she was tired, the way she clipped the second syllable of my name when she was annoyed with me. Why did you leave me? I couldn't move, my body felt bolted to the chair. I waited, she said. In the dark, under the water. You promised you'd follow. She took 1 step closer. The smell hit me then, bathtub water and pennies, the smell of that night. I didn't, my voice cracked like a kid's. I tried to save you, Em. I tried. You let go. Another step. The floorboards didn't creak under her weight. You let them take me away in a bag. She was close enough that I could see the cuts on her arms, pale lips puckered white, deeper than I remembered, gaping like mouths. I can fix it, she whispered. We can be together again. All you have to do is come upstairs. She reached for me. I don't know where the strength came from. I threw the bottle at her head. It passed right through and shattered against the far wall, bourbon running down the wallpaper like blood. She didn't flinch, just tilted her head the way she used to when I said something stupid. Then she was gone. Lights came up full. The room smelled only of old wood and whiskey. I slept in the truck that night with the engine running and a kitchen knife on the seat beside me. At dawn I drove into town and bought salt by the 20-pound bag, a dozen crucifixes from the Catholic surplus store in Burlington, every candle the hardware store had. The clerk raised an eyebrow but didn't ask questions. People in New England mined their own graveyards. I spent the day lining every threshold, every window, drawing sigils I found online that probably meant nothing. By dusk the house looked like a crazy person's wedding. White circles and crosses everywhere, flames flickering in every room. I stood in the foyer with a baseball bat and waited for night. Nothing happened. No whispers. No footsteps. No Emily gliding down the staircase with her impossible eyes. Just the wind rattling the loose panes and the candles guttering in their own wax. At 2:17 a.m. I let myself hope. That was when the candles reversed. Every flame bent backward, burning downward into the wick, smoke pouring up in perfect black spirals that met at the ceiling and formed letters I could read upside down. Too late. The temperature plummeted so fast the salt lines crackled like breaking ice. My breath froze in front of me. The front door slammed shut on its own and I heard every deadbolt in the house shoot home at once, metal singing. Then the screaming started. Not Emily. Not human at all. A chorus, dozens of voices layered over each other, men, women, children, all of them shrieking the same phrase again and again. You left US. You left US. You left US. The candles went out. Darkness swallowed the house whole, deeper than any dark I've ever known, thick, almost wet. I swung the bat and hit nothing. Something brushed my cheek, cold fingers tracing the line of my jaw. I ran blind, crashed into walls, felt pictures tumble and glass break under my feet. The staircase rose up and smashed my shins. I crawled upward, lungs raw, following the muscle memory of a house I hated but knew by heart. Top of the stairs, second door on the left. The master bedroom, our bedroom, the one I hadn't slept in since the first night because the mattress still smelled like her perfume. I slammed the door behind me, back against it, chest heaving. The room was lit by moonlight spilling through the big bay window. Frost spider-webbed across the glass even though the wood stove downstairs had been roaring all day. She was sitting on the bed. Not standing this time, sitting, knees drawn up, arms wrapped around them, rocking slightly. The nightgown clung to her like it was soaked. When she looked up, her eyes were normal again, hazel shot through with green, the little gold flecks I used to tease her about. Daniel, she said, and her voice broke. I'm so scared. I slid down the door until I was sitting on the floor, bat across my lap like a child with a toy. She nodded. Tears, real tears, cut trails through the grime on her cheeks. It hurts, she whispered. Everything hurts all the time. They won't let me leave. They keep pulling me back down. Down where? She pointed at the floorboards between us. There's a place under the house. Older than the foundation. They feed it. Every time someone new comes here, they feed it more. I fought them, Danny. I fought so hard, but I'm tired. I crawled forward on my knees, reached for her hand. My fingers passed through hers and came away wet and freezing. I can get you out, I said. Tell me how. She smiled then, the saddest smile I've ever seen on any face, living or dead. You can't get me out. But you can come with me. It's quiet there. No more dreams about the bathtub. No more waking up reaching for someone who isn't there. Just sleep. Together. She lay back on the bed, arms open, the way she used to when she wanted me to hold her after a nightmare. Come to bed, baby, she said. It's been so long. I won't lie. Part of me wanted to. God help me. I stood up and took one step, then another. The bat fell from my fingers. The cold didn't bother me anymore. Nothing did. I was 6 inches from the mattress when the floorboard under my foot creaked, different from the others, hollow. I stopped. Emily's face changed. The softness melted away like wax. Her mouth stretched too wide. What are you waiting for? The voice that came out wasn't hers anymore. It was all of them, layered and grinding together. She's waiting. They're all waiting. The bed wasn't empty anymore. Where Emily had been, bodies lay tangled in the sheets, pale limbs and open eyes, mouths sewn shut with black thread. Some I recognized from the old photographs downstairs. Others were strangers. All of them stared at me. I stumbled backward, hit the wall. The door behind me was gone, just smooth plaster where it used to be. The thing wearing Emily's shape rose from the bed, joints bending wrong, head lolling too far to one side. You left her, it sang in 100 voices. You can still choose her. Choose us. It lunged. I don't remember grabbing the bat again. I don't remember swinging. I just remember the sound it made when the wood connected, not the wet thump of flesh but a noise like splitting ice on a winter pond. The Emily thing shattered into black shards that turned to smoke before they hit the floor. The walls bled. Dark fluid seeped between the boards, thick and shining. The temperature spiked, hot as summer all of a sudden, and the smell of rot rolled over me so strong I gagged. From somewhere far below came a sound I felt in my teeth, low and hungry, the kind of noise a throat makes when it's been waiting centuries to swallow. I ran to the window, threw it open. 30 feet to the ground and nothing but frozen earth and pine needles. Behind me the room filled with shapes, arms reaching, mouths opening in perfect O's of need. I climbed out anyway. The fall broke my ankle. I felt the bones snap like green sticks, but the pain was clean, real, mine. I dragged myself through the snow, leaving a red trail the moon turned silver. Behind me the house screamed with every voice it had stolen, a sound that shredded the night and sent owls exploding from the trees. I made it to the tree line before the pain and blood loss took me down. Last thing I saw was the upstairs window, Emily standing there in her nightgown, waving goodbye with a small, apologetic smile. They found me at dawn, half frozen, babbling about bathtubs and promises. The ambulance took me to Rutland. Doctors set the ankle, pumped me full of antibiotics for the infection that had already started. Cops asked questions I couldn't answer. Eventually they stopped asking. I checked myself out after 4 days against medical advice. Took a cab to the bus station, another bus to Albany, kept moving south until the snow turned to rain and I couldn't feel the cold in my bones anymore. It's been 6 weeks. I rent a studio apartment above a bodega in Jacksonville now. The walls are thin and the neighbors fight in Spanish, but the sun is warm and nobody knows my name. I found work writing code again, remote, nights mostly so I don't have to see people much. I thought distance would fix it. Last night I woke up at 3:07 a.m. with the smell of vanilla and pennies in my nose. The bathroom light was on. Water ran in the sink, steady drip 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 I couldn't shut off no matter how tight I turned the faucet. On the mirror, written in the steam, 4 words in handwriting I would know anywhere. You can run, Daniel. The dripping stopped. From the living room came the soft creak of floorboards that haven't been there since the day I moved in, the sound of weight settling where no weight should be. I'm looking at the front door right now. It's locked, chained, deadbolt thrown. Outside, the hallway light flickers the way the bulbs did that last night in Vermont. She's in the kitchen. I can hear her humming the song we danced to at our wedding, off-key the way she always was after 2 glasses of wine. I still have the baseball bat. I brought it all the way from the house, wrapped in a trash bag in the trunk of the Greyhound. It's leaning against the wall by my chair, scarred and dark with stains I never managed to wash out. The humming stops. Daniel, she calls, soft, almost shy. Come to bed. I'm cold. I pick up the bat. This time I'm not running.